ins illa liya'budun. I did not create the jinn and insan except for worship, except to worship me. So whether that be marriage, choosing a spouse, whether that be children, whether that be naming my child and what I should name my child, whether that be in regards to how I should treat others, whether that means how I should buy and sell, every single thing should go around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we have the true faith and true iman in Allah, we'll find the dunya will come to us, and this is where you can then decide what you want and what you don't want. So this is very important to always think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, and then Allah Jalla wa ala will make your affairs easy, I guarantee you, inshallah. Bi-idhnillah nazim. In fact, Allah guarantees that to us. Who am I? But so the point here is iman. And if you do something, you do it properly. We can't say, I'm going to pray salah and I'm going to pray only 2 rak'at. Or I say, I pray 3 for Isha. I say 3. You can't. You have to complete the 4. You got to go all the way. Complete. Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they would make so much effort. They wouldn't be among those who would say, I just want to put my foot in Jannah. Why do we have that attitude all the time? I just want to do the bare minimum. So long I pray my salah, I do my bits and bobs, this is enough for me. Go beyond that. If you saw Jannah right now and you saw the highest Jannah, if any of us, even me, saw Jannah the highest, we'll be in a different state of ibadah today, right now. We'll be completely secluded in our ibadah and our mu'amala. Yeah, not just forgetting your obligations, but you know what I mean by saying this. You'll be very, very careful what you say. You'll be very, very careful the way you deal with people. You'll be very, very careful the way you treat your spouse, your children. You'll be a very, very careful person. And that's my issue that I have, that we all have, which is we just want the bare minimum. If someone says to you, I'll give you 50,000 or £5, we're like those when it comes to ibadah, I want £5. Doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? This is very important to understand. Al-Jannah al-Firdaus. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also said, if you ask Allah for Jannah, you don't say, Allah just give me, just let me enter into Jannah. No. You say, Allah give me al-Firdaus al-A'la. Allah give me the highest place in Jannah. This is so important that we must remember, for our faith, our iman, which is to be complete. And complete faith in Allah is to submit to the will of Allah and to work hard and to continue. Now, mashallah, these nights, winter nights, are long and they're cold as well. Yeah? But a person can benefit by saying, I would want to spend more of this night in ibadah, rather spend the night in things that is not allowed. So very, very important to remind ourselves of ibadah and the importance of faith and iman. And when it comes to anything in Islam, and haya is very important. Today we see our haya, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, al-haya kullu khayr. He said, in being shy, all of it is good. The shyness that we should have when it comes to adab and respecting others and being modest, especially for our beloved sisters as an advice, and to our beloved brothers, the way the mu'amala needs to be between the genders, we must know. If you're a person, and I'm not talking about any of you, honestly, I'm not even looking at you to be honest with you, I'm just saying generally, if you're a person who finds it easy to speak to the opposite gender and have jokes and fun and all this, someone who's a stranger, there's something about your iman. And yes, this environment that we live in and these working environments, they don't make it easy, we know that, but still you must remain within your consciousness and be careful, because this will affect your iman. There cannot be someone who can do this and at the same time come to the masjid and feel khushu'. People ask, Shaykh, I don't have khushu' in my salah. See your mu'amala and how you're dealing with the opposite gender and how you're dealing with when you're looking. It's very important. And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the pure faith and allow us to enter Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la with the Prophet ﷺ without any account. Keep this dua on your lips. Keep this dua on your tongue always. You know, Al-Jannah al-Firdaus al-A'la ma'a al-Nabiyyin wa-Siddiqin wa-Shuhada wa-Salihin bila hisab. Without any account. Very important, inshallah. We ask Allah to make it easy for you, for us, for all of us, and the Muslims wherever they are. Wallahu alam, jazakumullah khair. Today is our first book, Kitab al-Zakah. Any of you guys have any questions on zakat? Usually we all ask in Ramadan, but today inshallah we're going to be touching upon Kitab al-Zakat and Bulugh Al-Maram. Barakallahu fikum. جزاك الله خير شيخ. شيخ कोई वो हनी है क्या? हनी उसमें है क्या? ग्रीन टी उसमें अगर कुछ है हनी check if there's honey डाल देना please. जज़ाक अल्लाह खैर. थोड़ा सा गला में बारकल्लाह फीक शेख. अल्लाहुम्मा يا رب استغفر الله العظيم. اللهم اشفنا اللهم نعوذ بك من الامراض. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, amma ba'd. الزكاة لغة النماء والزيادة، وسمي المخرج أو المخرج زكاة لأنه يزيد المخرج منه وينميه. قال ابن قتيبة: سميت بذلك لأنها تثمر المال وتنميه. قال الشيخ تقي الدين: لفظ الزكاة في اللغة يدل على النمو، فيقال زكى إذا نمى، فسميت زكاة للمعنى اللغوي، وسميت صدقة لأنها دليل لصحة إيمان مؤديها وتصديقه. وشرعا حق واجب في مال خاص لطائفة مخصوصة في وقت مخصوص، وتجب الزكاة في 5 أشياء من المال، وهي سائمة بهيمة الأنعام، والخارج من الأرض، والعسل، والأثمان، وعروض التجارة. وفرضت في السنة 2 من الهجرة، وشرعت طهرة للمال وطهرة للنفس وعبودية للرب وإحسانا إلى الخلق. والزكاة أحد أركان الإسلام ومبانيه العظام، كما تظاهرت بذلك دلائل الكتاب والسنة، وقرنها الله تعالى بالصلاة في كتابه في 82 موضعا. Now, the author, rahimahullah ta'ala, begins by speaking about the aspects of zakat, and he says that zakat linguistically just means growth, an-nama. Was-ziyada obviously means more. And Ibn Qutaybah, he's a scholar, rahimahullah, he says it's been given this name zakat because it produces wealth and it increases it, or like a reproduction kind of thing. It reproduces it. Whereas Shaykh Taqiyuddin, he says the word zakat in the linguistic Arabic language actually just means growth. It said, Zakka idha nama. Nama means if something has grown, it's also become, well, you can say zakat. That's what it refers to. And it means it's been given this name zakat because of the language, and just like that, sadaqah has also been given the name of zakat, sadaqah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا الْآيَةِ. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of zakat as the word sadaqah. Allah says sadaqat. It's for who? It's for the poor people and so on and so forth. Allah mentions 8 types of people that you can give zakat to. And it's been given this name of sadaqah also because it's proof of the correct iman, a person's faith being absolutely correct. The one who gives it, the one who gives the iman, because the word sadaqah is from the truthfulness, sidq, sad, dal and qaf, sidqun. So this word صدقة دليل لصحة إيمان مؤديها وتصديقه. As the one who gives the zakat, it shows his truthfulness of his iman. That's why they also call it sadaqah. Okay, so this is the names that we find in the Quran. Zakat, sadaqah, hakada. But shar'an, okay, so there's a difference between linguistic and technical, or shar'a. Shar'a, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has law, the Islamic law definition. We can even say the Islamic definition in terms of its law. It is haqqun wajib. It is a right that is obligatory. Fi malin khas, on specific wealth. Yeah, so a right that is obligatory on specific wealth. لطائفة مخصوصة, to a specific type of people. في وقت مخصوص, and a specific time. This is why zakat is done once a year. And it's given to not anybody, but rather it's given to the people who come under the eligibility of zakat. In English, we call it zakatable. They use that word now. And also, it is compulsory. With that specific wealth that is compulsory, not any wealth. Yeah? Not your car that you drive on a daily basis. Rather, zakat is compulsory upon specific. Well, we will talk about this later on, inshallah. We'll come across the ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ, because this chapter is a big chapter. We will be going very slow because of a number of ahadith that we read. And Ibn Hajar rahimahullah, he brought a number of ahadith in this regard. Then the Shaykh, he mentions over here, which is before the ahadith, zakat is compulsory upon 5 things from your wealth. And number 1, they are sa'imatu bahimat al-an'am, the cattle. Yeah, the camel, cow, sheep. Yeah, this is what we call as bahimatul an'am. Al-an'am. In Arabic, al-an'am. Yeah. So this is if a person has a certain amount. Now, how many we will talk about, because there's a long hadith on this that talks about the sheep, how much you have to give, 40 or above, and you have to give 1 sheep away for zakat, subhanAllah. So that's wealth for the farmer. He has wealth, he has to give that as zakat. Likewise, وَالْخَارِجُ مِنَ الْأَرْضِ, that which comes up from the earth. Obviously, we're going to talk about how much you have to give. When do you have to give? Not your small little tree that just grew 2 figs. You say, you have to give that one away. No, that's not the amount. If that's nothing, that's for you. That's not. There's no zakat upon that. But zakat upon earth that you have grown, which is a lot. We'll speak about khamsatu awsuq, yani as mentioned in the hadith, awsuq, wal kharij min al-ard, wal asl, and honey. Of course, from the earth, from honey, yani, as it's grown, and this is your property. It belongs to you. Then this is something you have to give. But it depends how much honey. We'll talk about this one. Yeah, it's a mas'ala, and maybe it might not be connected to you. You may say, well, I don't have honey, I don't have a land, but some people do. Back home, they say, I have lands back home, or some even have it here. I have family, they have sheep, they have a farm, they have, mashallah, they have their things. So this is something that people do have. It's not something that's unknown, but it's important to know and widen our horizons, shuyah, to understand. Well, athman, which is the famous one, which is money, currency, which is the pounds and coins, or whichever currency you follow or you have. وعروض التجارة, and businesses, and the assets of the businesses. Like if a person has a tire shop, he has tires he sells, or he sells clothing, or he sells anything, or books or something, and he sells this, and this is his business, he's earning money from this on a yearly So we count the amount of stock he has. So this is something very important, mas'ala. Sometimes people realize, Sheikh, I haven't been given zakat for 15 years. And we always give one simple answer. The scholars say, this zakat is due upon you. Even if it was 70 years you didn't give it, you have to give it. Why? Because, as we said, what's the definition of zakat? Who can read me the definition of zakat? That's not the definition of zakat according to legislation, but that's a good answer. No. Say that loud, nicely, please. That's it. حق واجب في مال خاص لطائفة مخصوصة في وقت مخصوص. This definition all the scholars agreed on. This is an agreed definition of zakat. Yeah, which is حق واجب, which is a right which is obligatory. This means that if I didn't give it for 5 years, I still have to give it because this is the right that's obligatory. It's not a right that's like, it was obligatory then, but it's not obligatory now. You can't waive the obligation because it's the haqq of the faqir. Or we can even say, حق واجب للأثماء يعني للأصناف الثمانية. We can add this, I can add it, it's not a problem because it's the same meaning, which is a right that is compulsory upon the 8 type of people. Among them is the faqir, the poor one. Among them is the miskeen, the one who's faqir and miskeen, the scholars they differ. They say faqir is more worse than miskeen. Miskeen has a certain amount but he doesn't have enough. Faqir doesn't have anything. This is definition, the differentiate between a fuqara and masakin. They are both eligible for zakat. As for general sadaqah, not zakat, you can give to a rich person. You can say, I want to give this to a rich person, no problem. It's better that you give it to someone who's in need, yes, but is this shar'an allowed? Is this min babi usul al-fiqh? من باب يعني الحكم أنه جائز. It is allowed. There are 5 rulings in the Sharia. Wajib, compulsory. Mustahab, recommended. Makruh, disliked. If you leave for the sake of Allah, you'll get rewarded. Mubah, permissible. And 5thly, haram. These are the 5. This is it. And in terms of rulings, you must learn, is this makruh? Is this disliked? Is this permissible? Is this haram? Is this recommended? Yeah? Is this something that's just permissible? Like sitting on a chair. Al-asl fi al-ashya' al-ibaha. This is allowed. Because there's no dalil to say this is wrong. Nor is there a dalil to say that it's recommended and you'll be rewarded for sitting on a chair. Yeah? Or eating this high cholesterol, mashallah, yani, stuff over here. Yeah? So, although we can then go into more if you want to be a little bit funny for a second, and that is the scholars, they establish a rule. They say أي شيء قد تجاوز حده فأصبح ضده. This rule, they say anything that exceeds the limit, it becomes impermissible. If I drink salt, but why? Because I'm harming myself. So darar, you're harming yourself. If it's high cholesterol, then you shouldn't have this. But anyway, so going back to the point, as zakat, we learn. So someone asked this question about, I give 5 years, what shall I do? Yeah, you got to give it. It's the fuqara, it's their rights. It was their rights. And imagine, subhanAllah, because they didn't receive your zakat, and this is me being very, not necessarily